Hi everybody, thank you for watching another episode of MC Spark Auto Body Wraps. I don't know what's wrong with me, I just messed up the word and thought it was funny. Anyways, I just want to say thank you to everyone so far who has subscribed to my channel. That means so much to me, even though it's just a little bit. Let's try to get me to 1,000, so share, like, comment. I promise I will answer any and every one comment I have so far. Everyone's been nice so far. But to fast forward to the video, I'll be working on this motorcycle as you see. This video of me working on this bike was done February 2022. I have like a whole archive of things that I just never posted on YouTube at least. And I'm officially starting my channel. But later on in the video, you will see the request that he wanted versus what I gave him. The only difference was I substituted the pink from what he wanted with the purple from what he got, and you'll see his reaction at the end. If you haven't seen it on my TikTok or Instagram already, he loved it. So I did everything piece by piece. He brought the bike to me, if I'm not wrong, on a Friday, and I always give myself a deadline, so I got done with the bike on a Monday, I would say. Now, the customer does tell me when they want it done, but I always try to get it done in a timely manner, of course, but also just let them know that it could be done beforehand, but I add like an extra day or two on it just in case, if any replacements needs to be done, touch up, or orders are delayed. And this is my first time working on a bike, and I ain't gonna lie, I really loved it, like on a sports bike. I worked on a Harley before, but that's another story for another day. We all don't succeed on our first time doing something for the first time, and that was me. Now, these bike stands that the bike is sitting on, you can see it on the wheel right now. It basically helps the bike stay up straight instead of leaning over on a kickstand, and it won't be wobbly, of course. So if you do have one of these and you want me to work on your bike, I highly recommend that, of course, you let me know, let me use it, and it'll be a very superb job at that point. But anyways, back to the bike. I'm working on this gas tank still. It didn't take me long. I have a horrible angle. I wish it was a better angle so you can see how I'm wrapping it, but this is how it looks so far. So I got one side done and I'm literally working on the other side. Now, that green thing that's sitting on the bike, that's called knifeless tape. You use that whenever you want to straight edge your wrap, so that way it'll be a nice, clean, straight cut without you actually using a razor to cut the vinyl itself on the car or bike, because, there's a chance that if you're new at it, you could scratch it. But that's the bike stand that I'm talking about. It's two of them, one on the front wheel, one on the back wheel, so that way whenever, the artist is working on the car, the bike will sit up straight. At this point, I'm just thinking about how I'm going to do the rest of it, seeing that, he gave me free range to freestyle it basically. And I did the headlight area, and the pieces that are white, I'm thinking about which one's going to be purple, which one's going to be blue, and if it is going to be that color, how I'm going to do it. And again, knifeless tape is your best friend when you are deciding on cutting like a particular pattern. So for instance, a lot of people that do the army fatigue pattern, instead of using a printed army fatigue, a lot of people that wrap cars, they usually use the knifeless tape to cut out the pattern of whatever it is or shape that they're taking place to make it look like the army fatigue. But I believe I was talking to the shop owner in this picture. I was trying to let him know that my customer was interested in getting his rims done to match, whatever color that I'm doing on the bike. But it just, I don't know what happened. I presented it to him and he just didn't follow back on, if he wanted to do it or not. So apparently he didn't do it. So I guess he didn't want to do it. But either way, my job got done and the customer is happy. He said that he did know someone else that does wheels, so I'm pretty sure he took it to him. If you look closely by where the mirrors would be in this video right here in this clip, you'll see like where the mirror is, you'll see the seam line right there. And in that particular part, it lets you know that one, I used knifeless tape, so that way it'll be a nice clean straight line, and I didn't have to use my razor to potentially cut the vinyl that I laid on top of it, or even scratch up the bike, because you don't want to do that. And also, seeing that I did not take the mirror off all the way, like I mentioned before, this is just an example of what I did to go around it and make it look like it was actually removed, unless you went up close to the bike, but you gotta finesse it sometimes. I didn't take off a lot of the original stickers because I wanted to mark up where I'm going to be covering with my new stickers. So that way, basically, that was a blueprint, like a 3D blueprint for me to lay my stickers on top of. So for like that Suzuki S, it was on both sides of the gas tank, of course. So I did one blue, the other side purple, which you'll see later on in the video. So I'm pretty much done with one side of the bike. Now that I see how I want things to be done, I'm going to do it the same way on this side. And you see how that panel is sticking out. I don't take the panels off 100%, but I do take it off enough for me to tuck the vinyl into, if that makes sense. So once I tuck the vinyl into it, cut it to make sure, it's good, make sure it doesn't peel back, especially since the sun is going to be on it, being in Florida. After we get that done, or after I got that done, I push the panel back together, so that way basically the bike looks like it's how it did before it got to me. Now here's an example of the knifeless tape. You see that green under it? Basically that's the knifeless tape. It helps you cut a clean cut without actually having to cut it physically with a razor. And that logo right there, the RGSX, that's an example of the sticker that I left on there, so I know where to place mine once I get it created. So me and knifeless tape used to have a love-hate relationship. I could not stand knifeless tape. The string will always pop on me in half once I'm in the middle of cutting halfway through. But this bike helped me a lot, seeing that I did a lot of pieces on this bike. So this is another example of the knifeless tape, if you see what I mean. It allows you to make a nice clean cut without actually having to use your razor. And this is when I fell in love with the damn knifeless tape, especially with this fun part, doing all the blues and doing all the purples. It made it hella fun to do. This is where I start to see the creation of my work coming together. It looks very similar to what he wanted as far as the picture goes of what he wanted. So he wanted one side to be purple and blue, the other side to be blue and purple, if that makes sense. So for instance, the blue side had little hints of purple and the red side had little hints of blue. But as far as that gray go, that is a Nardo gray. Again, another popular color that he chose before my client that's a rapper chose. But everybody's doing this color, is fly. So in the next clip, I'm just verifying where I want to place the blues, where I'm going to place the purples. I didn't lay down all the grays yet because sometimes I will have to place gray over the purple or blues. So that way basically, like, if there won't be any moisture like that can seep into it, even though you are applying the wrap correctly, and it shouldn't do that. It's Florida and sometimes it happens, but to prevent that from happening, that's how you do it. And this is the cutout that I'm doing for the back tail light, and this side is the blue. I don't know which side I like the most. I think I like the blue side, this side, blue with a little bit of purple on it with the purple Suzuki words. I don't know, I just like that side a lot better. But I worked so hard. I didn't even realize I missed the Super Bowl, like, at all. Once I start working, I can't stop. And here's the knifeless tape again. As you can see, I use 0 razor, and I use the knifeless tape damn near on everything on this bike. And when you're cutting or using knifeless tape, try to stay on the seam line that originally comes on the vehicle that you're working on. If not, then create one. Make sure it's neat enough to look like it's a part of the vehicle that you're creating one on. So it's coming along. I'm taking a good look at it. I'm loving it. This is the cutout of the Suzuki word in blue. I always cut out more than one just in case, an error occurs while I'm applying the letters. I eventually cut them out one by one, so that way I can stick it on there as far as placement goes, so I know exactly where I'm going to place it on there before I actually put it on the bike. So after I get it cut out, this is what I'm talking about. I put it on the bike so I can see exactly where I'm going to put everything. And I wanted it to look as much as possible as he wanted it, as far as that picture that he sent me goes. So that way it won't be too far from what he wanted. So did you see it's a little slanted? I didn't like it. I definitely did fix it, and you'll see how it looks towards the end. So now I'm cutting out the word Suzuki and that other R GSX sticker that I mentioned. So as you can see, the original is under the wrap, and then this is mine on top of it. And where that outline was, that's where I placed the purple on. So that way I know exactly where the smaller sticker that's going to go over that stamp goes. If you understand what I'm saying, you'll see it. But this is the purple Suzuki. I promise I'm not a messy worker. This bike just came in hella pieces, like so many freaking pieces. I couldn't help but to have little tiny pieces everywhere. Oh, this is the reveal. I told my customer I'm going to record his reaction looking at the bike. So I didn't tell him to close his eyes, but he did anyway. He was just hella excited. But he's covering his eyes, and boom, my dog's heart stopped. He loves it. This is the masterpiece. You'll notice the difference from the picture from what he wanted compared to what I gave him, because it didn't come with all the stickers that the other picture came with, and he was like, don't worry about that, just do it. So boom, I did it, and he loved it. I love it too. I feel like this is like one of my major masterpieces because I got to customize it in my way, and this is the bike that he wanted it to look like compared to what I gave him right here. And this is what I mean. So you seen the bike that he wanted had pink on it. We changed that to purple. So that way it'll be blue and purple instead of that razor pink, which I personally like. I think it would have been fly if he did it either or. Now, if you're interested in getting your bike done, feel free to contact me on all my platforms, Instagram, Twitter, IG, even YouTube. Let me know what exactly you want in a comment or message, and I'll get right back to you. Thank you again for watching another episode of MC Spark Body Wrap. See you soon.